uma projeção astral lúcida.
I consider that the emotional situation has everything to do with having lucid astral projections. First, because you can get out of the body. If you have any emotional difficulty, it will be a problem. After getting out of the body, you are free from emotional burdens that trouble us, disturb our vision and our clarity. Fear is something to be overcome, and I think it can only be overcome if you do a sincere self-analysis and get rid of any kind of emotional stress that disturbs you. The possibility of being able to get rid of fear by practicing is real and important. If you are going to do something and try to do it gradually, I would say that you get closer and closer to solve the problem. You find out that fear is much more related to emotions than a real thing. Then you start solving things. I mentioned some time ago a projection I had far from Earth, looking at the Earth from above. When I left my body, gained altitude and observed the planet, I noticed that I didn't have references. I didn't know what was above and below me. I didn't know anything. At that moment, I felt apprehension, and I believe that was due to a complete loss of reference. I was still a teenager and returned to my body pretty scared, and I have to confess that I wet my bed. So, returning to your question, I kept thinking that I could have this experience again. It was very important for me to go up gradually. I went up to a certain point, then I went up a little bit more, until I was able to have the experience I had planned. It's a successive approximation that overcomes fear. Yes, it's possible to overcome fear, not only by dealing with your emotions, but also with the experiences along the way. Voice in the back, continuity. Yes, the experience. I think everything requires continuity. It's not possible to evolve without having continuity. People want things that are ready. I want my evolution recipe. One kit of ready evolution. You buy it online and everything is solved. It doesn't work like that. It demands a personal effort. Evolution is individual. I also think that evolution doesn't depend on any kind of institution. Even when I founded the Center for Consciousness Studies, my intention was to free ourselves from everything. Even free from the Center for Consciousness Studies. You can use it as a tool to help people, to transmit the knowledge you acquired, but you have to be independent. Otherwise you don't get rid of beliefs, conditionings, and dependencies that take us nowhere. Having philosophies, ideas or paths may help to a certain point, only if you are aware that you will eventually need to throw them away. This is important. In order to overcome the fear of having an astral projection, we need to have determination and strong will. Because neither of us had, when we were born, parents who early in life told us, look, when you are a little bit aware of life, you will have lucid astral projections. You will leave your body, see a new world, a new universe, and a new dimension. Most parents don't even know what this is, because of beliefs people have in religions and everything else. When you discover this way, you need to make an effort and have a lot of determination. You need to check how many emotional difficulties you have to deal with in yourself. If you don't have many, you can achieve things. What is a lot of difficulties? When a person has several conflicts, a lot of fears, when they can't bear solitude, they can't be on their own, not even to live. Do you get it? You can meet some people who suffer a lot when finding themselves alone. This kind of person can hardly have an astral projection. If a person can't be alone and becomes very needy, they will have a lot of difficulties. To overcome fear, you need to have at least a basic emotional structure. You need to deal with yourself, do things by yourself, and have initiatives. This is important. You need to overcome the personal laziness that most people have when doing things. This determination needs to have a goal, and you have to go after this goal every day. There's no use saying, I will have an astral projection. Fear makes us sleep immediately. Laziness too. There are so many things. I can make a list of items that make us sleep to avoid facing the reality offered by astral projection. You have to say, I will be able to do it, I will get over my fears, and I won't give up until I really have an astral projection. Even if it's a very basic experience, you have to do it, otherwise it becomes too comfortable. It's comfortable for you to be with your fears and fall asleep. It's not an excuse to say, I couldn't do it because I fell asleep. I gradually lost consciousness and slept. Consciousness is the key point of an astral projection. Consciousness is the key point to deal with the fear. So it's important that you decide, I will have an astral projection. Keep that in mind with absolute determination. Keep practicing and don't give up until you succeed. After succeeding, you can say, I did it. Otherwise your goals aren't achieved and the fear remains. To overcome fear you need to be brave. Courage is a decision. From my point of view, it's not that hard, but you need to have a good basis in order to say, I'm going to do this and there is no alternative. Then you defeat the fear. It just can't be a pathological fear or a disease. Do you know what happens when you're going to have an astral projection? You see a lot of images when leaving your body, and those images may seem hallucinations for you. Look how interesting. I am also a psychoanalyst. If I didn't have this specific spiritual knowledge, and hadn't been working with this, the first thing I would say to a patient if he told me that he could leave his body, I would say that this man was hallucinating and in need of medication. You take the possibility away for that person to keep evolving due to your own limitations. By the way, one thing I consider important is the emotional context of each person, the basis of all they do in every life. I also defend that in each life you need to be better than you were previously. We can only solve this issue and evolve if we solve our emotional content. Otherwise, we'll keep riding a broken bike and going nowhere.
Senão a gente vai ficar pedalando numa bicicleta sem correia e não vai dar certo.
Would you like to participate in the work of energy giving from afar that is benefiting thousands of people? Click on the link below for more information.